rarely does a day go by when a loan originator or a mortgage broker doesn't reach out and they say, hey, D.O., I know I'm supposed to call on real estate agents, but I just don't know what to say. Why would they want to meet with me? And more importantly, how do I bring them value? Well, in today's episode, we are going to peel back the layers of that onion. We are going to demystify what it means to bring value to real estate agents and how to turn a realtor into your ideal client. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Dio, what's poppin'?
It's another day, John. It's another $50. What do you think about that? You're stone cold silent. Are you still pissed about that
meeting?
That meeting you were just on?
I can't get that time back, man.
You cannot. It is amazing how many meetings we have in the corporate world.
Could have been an email, a meeting that should have been an email, a meeting that should have never been scheduled.
Yeah, I was sitting here waiting for you so we could record, and it just seemed like a meeting where it should have been, hey, in 3 minutes or less, John, let me know what it is that you're working on. Give us an update, give us a timeline, and move on to the next person.
Just go to fucking daily stand-up 15 minutes. It was 45 minutes long, and I said, I'm out. Fucking tapped out. I'm out. And you know me. I'm at the age now, Dustin, where I'm an old fart. I don't give a shit. I'll just hop off of meetings. I'll be next in queue. Hey, is John still with us? Nah, he hopped off like 25 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's look, as someone who runs a couple companies,
yeah,
a couple
meetings are needed.
Meetings are needed, but there is a slippery slope or a fine line or a balancing act between like who should be in charge of this meeting, what is the agenda. I would recommend anybody, if you want to look up how to have really good meetings, look up L10. L as in like Lima or Lisa or Larry, and then 10.
People that run meetings, I've found out in corporate America, the people that actually run the meetings and ask the questions are the least the least talented people in the organization. They might have the best role, highest title, but they're the least like savvy, like, hey, let me roll up my sleeves and nail some hammers or some shit.
No, a really good nail some hammers.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Let me get down there and nail some hammers with you. I'm like, no, I got this. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, really good branch operators, even top producing loan originators who have teams, they will recognize and realize they should never lead their own team meeting. Right? They should be a participant, but they should have somebody. Like even look at what we're doing over here at TLOP. Like our Monday meetings are very important when done right. Now our Monday meetings have been a total waste of time when we had no intentionality, when we didn't have an agenda, when people didn't show up prepared. And I've recognized that I don't need to be leading that meeting. We need Mark. Mark's our business operations guy. And we need Mark to say, hey, content, where are you on X? This is what we need from you. Give us a timeline for when you're going to deliver the latest asset. And by the way, is there anything you need from me, right? And then once content's done and content has to come prepared, hey, sales, where are you at on this project?
Yeah.
Where are you at on this ad campaign? What were last week's results? What's on tap for this week? Is there anything you need from us?
You know what you should do? You should travel the country and tell people that
repeat.
And charge companies $50,000 to be like, hey, I'm going to show you how to cut your meetings from 50 meetings a week to 5 with my 5-step strategy to reclaiming your business.
You know what? One day we will. One day TLOP is out to shape the future of the mortgage industry.
Right?
Not just
fucking
from
world, Dustin.
Not just rookie originators, not just helping them become top producers, not just helping top producers build out a scalable team, not just helping producing branch managers grow their personal production while also growing their branch production. No, we 100% should, can, and will be putting in work with the leaders and doing some leadership training. We can come and do some efficiency training. We can work with marketing departments about creating a assembly line process for their marketing services.
Look at you,
Yes,
Dustin.
like we will do all that, John. If you want to put it out there in the universe, that's why we have Doc Stacy.
Yep.
That's why I'm continuing to do the things that I'm doing, because we want to be able to influence and impact in totality the industry. And once we're done with mortgage industry, why not look at real estate? Why not look at real estate investors as two silos, two complementary industries that I have a lot of experience in? I mean, we're already coaching realtors every single month for our coaching members. why not just grow upon that and start going into KW and EXP and some of the other major brokerages and offering some sales and business training to them too.
Speaking of realtors and relationships, Dustin.
Speaking of, should we go ahead and get in today's episode?
Please do.
How about before we do, I got two things for you.
Oh,
One,
God.
No. Shout out to the Louisiana Mortgage Bankers Association.
Baby.
Yep. We will be heading to Baton Rouge, Louisiana in August.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So make sure you check out the TLOP website for more information to come. Google the Louisiana Mortgage Bankers Association. It's the LMBA for more details. But it's their annual sales conference. It's going to be a who's who event for any mortgage originator or mortgage lender in the greater Louisiana area. Yours truly is keynoting, and our friends over at Lower is one of the premier sponsors. So it's going to be it's going to be a really cool event. I'm looking forward to Baton Rouge in August. Come hang out with us. But also, before we get started, how about a word from today's show sponsor? Today's podcast episode is sponsored by our friends over at rateupdate.io. This is our boy Alex Hernandez, who himself is a top producing loan originator. So check this out. Since 2022, there have been over 4 million mortgages originated with interest rates higher than 6.5%. And of those 4 million, 2 million are actually in excess of 7%. That means now it is more important than ever for loan originators and mortgage brokers to be staying in front of their past clients as well as their entire circle of influence. By leveraging a partnership with rateupdate.io, you will be able to follow Alex's proven strategy and proven system of staying in front of your past clients as well as your circle of influence. Check out rateupdate.io, reach out to our guy Alex, and make sure you use the code TLOP, that's TLOP, for your 30% discount on this awesome service. So let's go ahead and jump into the way that I promote this episode. And it truly comes from traveling the country for the past 2 years, speaking, presenting, coaching, workshops, doing consulting for certain IMBs, and the questions that come up tend to be very consistent. And it's amazing, things I maybe take for granted and others take for granted. There are originators out there, mortgage brokers out there that maybe it's because it wasn't their old business model or maybe because they're newer to the industry. They're asking, so I know I'm supposed to call on real estate agents, but what do I say? And more importantly, why would they want to meet with me? And it's funny, this is where I maybe take my 20 plus years experience and 1,000 plus transactions personally funded for granted. I'm like, how do you not know this? But you know what? There's a time in a day that I didn't know this. And there's also a time in a day that my friends who maybe did consumer direct or focused primarily on refis or debt consolidation loans, they too didn't necessarily know it. Or I have one of my best branches does like 20, 25 transactions a month. Single originator, by the way, but it is mainly working with the investor community. So even when I'm coaching him, because that's something I do when you're one of my branch managers, we get one-on-one for 30 minutes every single week so that I can make sure I'm investing in that branch and that branch manager's growth. When he and I get together, it is about whatever it is he wants to talk about, but it's also me encouraging him to start maybe embracing some of the more traditional ways of generating leads and building relationships. So, I guess I shouldn't be shocked that this is new to thousands of originators.
Well, shit, I wouldn't know what to say. If I became an LO and you told me to call on 10 realtors, I'd be like, what do I say? And you'd be like, what do you mean you say? Because like I barely got my NMLS number yesterday. I don't know what the hell a loan is. So why would a realtor want to work with me? They wouldn't, because I'm going to drop the ball and fuck everything up. So
wait a minute. First and foremost, you wouldn't know what to say after 5 years of being force-fed me.
I mean, me technically, yes. I would be like, I don't really want to work with you, but we can work together. You want to go have a drink? My approach would be way different, Dustin. But if I was a newer loan originator, I can understand because they don't want to mess up, but they think they're going to mess up because they don't know what they're doing. And it's different when you're talking to a real estate agent who could feed you loans rather than a dumb consumer with a 200 credit score, because you can just lie to them all day. But it's a little bit intimidating trying to build a relationship with a realtor, knowing that they're probably getting what? How many calls do you think average realtor would get per week from struggling loan officers looking to build their book of business, Dustin?
You know, it depends. You talk to enough realtors, you'll have equally as many that say, you'd be amazed, I don't get that many calls, to, oh my God, I get hit up every single week.
Right. So without having that kind of data set at my fingertips, if I was a junior loan officer, I would be very hesitant to reach out to maybe a whale realtor. So I'd go for the lower fish realtor who would probably give me a bunch of shitty deals and then make me even more frustrated, to where I would just listen to podcasts like this for the answer.
All right. So here's what I love about you and your approach. I could totally see you saying to somebody, look, I don't want your referrals. I want to go have a drink with you, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't want your referrals. I don't even want this job. But unfortunately, I don't want to have to deal with my mom giving me shit for not having a job. So this is the job I chose.
Preach.
And by the way, I love going to Louis.
Yeah.
And my wife and I are a little bit bougie. And if I didn't have a job, she may leave me. And unfortunately for her, I love her too much for her just to leave me.
God.
So she's forcing me to have a career because she's only going to be married to a career guy. My mom's forced me to have a job. I chose mortgage. I don't want to be here any more than you need to be here, but I really do need your referrals. And I promise I'll do the best job I can do to make sure you get your paycheck.
God, we should do this reverse role more often.
That would totally be
yeah.
I bet it would work.
I bet it would be like 94% conversion ratio.
The only thing is you have to be willing to work for 50 basis points, because you'd have to go find a loan partner who knows what the hell to do and that won't drop the ball. But you could just be out there like spitting game, building relationships.
Isn't that what a loan officer is all about? And then I got my team back at home under the desk, who, the minions in the calculator who do all the work. I call them my garden gnomes. Isn't that who does all the real work?
You know what? If you set yourself up appropriately, that can happen. But typically,
not at the beginning.
No, not at the beginning. And in the beginning, you as the originator have to be the badass. You have to be the badass until you've built it to where you no longer need to be the badass, and you have a team behind you that is supporting you. You're probably the surgeon that comes in, and then eventually you'll build up one of them to be the surgeon. Like, you start reading books like Maxwell's 5 Levels of Leadership. It'll talk about level 4 and level 5. That's when you have those minions you were talking about, those garden gnomes you were talking about. You start reading Dan Martell's Buy Back Your Time, and you start talking about the rungs, or you're reading about the rungs that Dan teaches in that book. Sure, you can get there, but what no one fails to tell the rest of the world is you still have to be the badass until you can hire and train your replacement. Then you can expect what you expect. So anyhow, let me just kind of like crush through how I typically answer this question when it comes up, because it's not just for rookie originators. I get it a lot from rookie originators, but I also get it from the guys like Adam that are crushing it, but he's very siloed working in the investor world. Or like my boy Brad, who spent 9 years crushing it in the consumer direct world, right? Or even my buddy Wolf, and Wolf came from a place where it was a lot of business that was coming in for debt consolidation. Okay, so you're coming from that consumer direct. You're doing a lot of debt consolidation. You're hyper focused on things like working investor business, or you're just brand new. You tend to have the questions of, I know I'm supposed to call on real estate agents and make realtors my clients, but what does that really mean? Well, first and foremost, let me go ahead and just kind of specify. The reason why I call realtors my client is, to me, they're the most important person that's in my world. I know we have borrowers, and I know that borrowers are customers, but if I can do a good job for a good realtor, that could be 15 or 20 referrals a year, 3 or 4 closings per year. I can do a bang up, amazing job for a borrower who I call a customer. If I'm lucky, they'll call me in 5 years for their refi. If I'm lucky, they may refer me one of their friends, family, coworkers, or neighbors. And by the way, it's not luck. It actually is because I'm tactical and I'm intentional with my marketing efforts. I could do that. So I do put my clients on a higher pedestal than I do my customers. So first and foremost, I treat a realtor like they're my client. Second, I refer to them as my partner, But partner is a very, very strong word. Strong word. So I can't call someone my partner if I'm not going to act like it. Like my wife's my partner. She and I raise 2 children together. We share a household together. We divide and conquer. Right? When shit's getting out of whack, we have to sit down and talk it through. If we can't sit down and talk it through, we go get professional help. Right? We are constantly working on our relationship if we want to have a good partnership. In business, I have partners, right? You and I have to sit and talk. Sometimes they're fun conversations. Sometimes they're not fun conversations. On the mortgage side, I've had 2 partners when I worked at Waterstone. I have partners over here at Lower. And in order for it to work, we have to sit down and talk. So a real estate agent, ultimately what I'm looking for is a partner, but that means it's somebody that I'm going to sit down with and I'm going to do business with. And by do business with, this is what I mean. It's my job to help real estate agents generate more leads, convert those leads into sales, sell more homes so they can make more money. And I know if a real estate agent is making more money, they can invest and save more money. They can tithe more money. Right? They can achieve certain goals. They can invest back in their business.
Question for you. If I'm a loan officer, how do I give referrals to a realtor? Isn't it usually the other way around? Don't people usually, when they want to buy a home, they contact the realtor first, even though that's not the optimal path of, you would want to go down?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think most real estate agents have to understand that nobody wants a mortgage, that people dream about the day they have no mortgage. Nobody wakes up saying, gosh, I'd love to go in debt for 15 or 20 or 30 years. Let's call that lender. Mm-hmm. So it is not a equal, if you refer me, I'll refer you. It's not. Now, if you're a loan originator in 2025 and you're looking towards the 2030s, I will teach you and coach you. For the first time ever, we should be racing alongside our realtor partners to get to the consumer first. Mm-hmm. But I still don't yet live in a world where I as a lender are handing out that many leads. But what can I do as a partner? Well, I can get with my realtors and I can figure out A, why'd they get into real estate? B, what'd they do before real estate? C, what was last year like for them in terms of sales and income? Where are they trying to go? That would be D. Where are you trying to go currently in your business? By the way, these are 4 questions I'm asking when I get one-on-one with that real estate agent. And then through those answers, what I'm looking for is an opportunity. Well, where's an opportunity for me to slide in and offer some value? I know ultimately, look, I have to help this person generate more leads. Then I have to help them convert those leads into actual transactions. How I do that, that's kind of the secret to the sauce. How? Okay, well, ma'am or sir, and this is where the question asking comes along. What do realtors need to do to generate more leads? Well, they can go door knocking. They can do a better job of marketing to their database. They can host events that attract home buyers and home sellers. Which of those 3 things am I willing to collaborate with them on? Do I want to help them host events? Do I want to help them go door knocking? Do I want to maybe sit down with them, record a bunch of content that through the use of AI and technology, I can then give to them to post on their social? And because I know a thing or two about content, and I did this with them as well as for them, I showed them I'm a true partner. I'm giving them assets that they can then post that hopefully reminds their current circle of influence what they do for a living, educates their intended user on what's happening in the market, but more importantly, it helps them increase the odds that somebody's going to call them today, tomorrow, or the next day to either list their house or to buy a house. Mm-hmm. So like these are all things that as a mortgage loan originator, I can do. Now, the first thing I need to do is get them to meet with me so that I can do the discovery. And then from the discovery, we can brainstorm together ways that we can collaborate. Mm-hmm. So like the first phone call to someone is me kind of being Captain Obvious. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I'm a lender and you're a realtor. You might not know this, John, about me, but I believe it's my job as a local lender to help realtors like you generate more leads, convert more leads, so you can sell more homes and make more money. The problem is I don't know you. So I'm calling you to introduce myself. I'm calling you because I was referred to you by Heidi over at First American Title. Yeah. Heidi was talking highly of you. And if you'll grab coffee with me, it'll give me the opportunity for us to no longer be strangers. But more importantly, as I get to know you, I want to find ways that I can help you generate more leads, convert more leads to sales, sell more homes, and make more money. Mm-hmm. Like that's my pitch. Now, that was a abbreviated version, but essentially that's a proven script that works.
Do you have any strategies behind what type of realtors one should target and like where in their career? Like if I'm a new loan officer, I probably shouldn't target a whale that has, $50 billion in production, but.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, don't strike out on deck. Don't strike out on deck. Certain sales take years, right? I think of one of the best branch managers that I was able to onboard. It took 3 years and it took 2 attempts, meaning I knew him for 3 years before he ever onboarded, and he went to work for 2 other companies before he finally came to my company. Yeah. I think of one of the best realtors that I was able to onboard. It took 18 months of me calling on him. It took me working with his friend in the office, and then that friend in the office giving me the heads up that his lender had dropped the ball, and that if I was interested, she could put together a lunch for the 3 of us. And when I got there, that realtor, first question he said is, "Can I look inside of your car?" True story. I freaked out. It's a funny story when I tell it, which I'll not bore you all with it today. But yeah, imagine being a young, hungry, aggressive loan officer. You get this top producing realtor you've been calling on for literally 18 going on 24 months. And one of the first questions he asks you is, "Hey, would you mind if I looked inside of your car?"
Bro, I'm taking someone's keys because you ain't smelling that kush. My shit, you open that shit, it's
yeah. And look, he just had his own theories about how people kept their cars organized as to how they were as a professional. He was a pretty quirky individual, highly successful. And luckily for me, I am a neat freak. I do not like clutter.
Yeah.
I don't mind things not being clean. I do mind them not being all cluttered. So I snap call them. Yeah, you can look at my car whenever you want, but I keep a clean car.
Yeah.
So anyhow, no, I would not tell that person if you're new to not call him the whale. But you asked me the question, what am I looking for? Oh, it's simply same exact thing I look for when I'm onboarding a branch or I'm hiring a loan officer. Are you full-time? Are you professional? And are you in growth mode? You heard it. Yeah, those are the 3 things that I'm looking for. Now, if you wanted me to get more granular, okay, I want somebody that preferably is doing 8 buy-side transactions a year. Now, that may eliminate 80% of realtors right now. 80% might not be doing 8 buy-side. So I'm willing to take most meetings, because what if I found that guy or that girl that's going to be the next superstar, but maybe they too are only 9 or 12 months into their career? I'd hate to know that they're getting ready to turn the corner and things are going to pop and they are prime for a partnership and I just missed out. So I look at every opportunity to meet with somebody as an audition or a rehearsal. It's my opportunity to become better at asking questions, becoming better at peeling back the layers of the onion, and becoming better at overcoming objections. It's also my way to figure out, like, realtors tend to ask all the same questions. They have the same needs and the desires. The more times I can answer it, the more times I can predict it in the future, at which point it makes my presentation that much better because I'm answering your question before you've ever asked it. So now when you start talking about other ways to bring value, I talked about ways that you can bring value in terms of helping them generate leads, but how about converting leads? Well, you as a lender, what do you currently do that can help a real estate agent convert more leads? I will tell you that as a whole, just like LOs as a whole, are average at best, if not subpar, at actually working leads until they buy, die, or get a restraining order. Well, if that's going to be you and your peers, I guarantee you that's your realtors and their peers. What if you were that rare commodity that actually had a way, a system, organizational skill set that allowed you to legitimately follow up with every lead that realtor has or has had until they buy, die, or get a restraining order? That's value you bring to that realtor, especially when you start doing it so well that you're referring people back to them that they forgot they ever referred to you. My favorite story of this, the lady's name is Holly Galarza. She's a realtor in Central Florida. The borrower was Samantha Taylor.
Damn.
And I referred Samantha Taylor back to Holly Galarza. And Holly was like, "Who?
Huh?
What?
Where?"
Yes. And I was like, no, because look, Samantha, when she first reached out to us, had a couple things that were moving parts that we couldn't get around or get over. It was just going to take another 12 months. And that 12-month time period didn't take away Samantha's desire to become a homeowner. It didn't take away the fact that she was a full-time professional herself that was in growth mode. She just did the things that we needed her to do. I let my team and my marketing and my system and my systems do their thing. And sure as heck, Samantha gave me a call back 11 months into it. Truth be told, maybe this guy kind of needed a refresher on who Samantha was. I pulled her up in my system. I saw the text message and the emails that my system had been sending out. We had been dripping on her, staying in front of her. Mm-hmm. I had all the notes from our previous conversation because I am organized like that. Picked up the phone, called Holly. That was a $300,000 transaction at a time when the average transaction size was like 2.25, right? So like, you better believe Holly all of a sudden looks at me like a partner and not like a vendor with my hand out. So my encouragement to loan originators as a whole, it's like, look, when you don't know what to say, it's pretty simple. State the obvious, right? You're a lender, they're a realtor. You recognize and understand that realtors are your clients, and it's your job to partner with them to help them achieve their sales goals. That means you're going to help them generate leads, convert leads, sell more homes, and make more money. The problem is you don't know them and they don't know you. So the purpose of meeting is to change the fact that you don't know each other. And it's going to be a discovery meeting where you're going to ask a lot of questions, take good notes, and look for ways that based on where they're coming from, where they're trying to go, based on the way they operate their business, their needs, their desires, you're going to find ways, come up with ways, brainstorm ways, go check with ChatGPT ways that you can invest in them, the business, in return so that they look at you as a person of purpose, someone they like and trust, and somebody that's worthy of their referrals. By the way, for all of my wholesale account executives, this is all the same things that y'all should be doing. I just did a call for a bunch of wholesale account executives over at Freedom. So shout out to Freedom Mortgage. Thank you for that opportunity to invest in you all. All I ask them to do is when I say the word realtor, remove it and insert mortgage broker. If you're a wholesale account executive, what is your job? To help your mortgage brokers generate more leads, convert more leads to transactions, close more units so they can earn more income. Like, that's our goal. Wholesale account executives, their clients are mortgage brokers. Loan officers, your clients are realtors. And ultimately, when you reach out to them, it's to ask them to meet so that you can do discovery because you want to be their partner. Now, once you've done discovery from there, yeah, you should probably walk away with 2 or 3 suggestions. Ma'am or sir, would it benefit you if I did this? Nope. How about this? Nope. How about door number 3? Yes. Awesome. I want to do door number 3 with you. Ma'am or sir, do you know that every time you refer me, this is how I'm going to massage, incubate, and work that lead? And I'm going to do so not just for your benefit, but my benefit. At which point, you will ultimately end up capturing and closing more transactions because while that realtor is focused on the 1 or 2 transactions or 1 or 2 buyers or sellers that are ready today, you as a lender are going to be focused on all of their leads so that they can work the 1 or 2 that are ready today, but you're going to incubate the 3 or 4 that'll end up buying sometime between now and next summer, right? And that's essentially what you have to do. And I take for granted that I think everyone knows that already. But as I travel the country, as I take on more coaching students, I recognize and realize that's not the case. So for you all, this episode is for you.
Thank you. Please don't close with another long regurgitating. Listen, if you like this episode, bullshit, because I think if they made it this far, they should.
You think this was a long episode?
No, it's not, but my belly is sweating like I told you, and I need to go wipe it down.
All right, well,
you don't get sweaty bellies when you get in here?
I do not get sweaty bellies.
Every time I'm on a conference call, I get sweaty belly syndrome.
Okay.
And I'm not even, I'm a lean dude.
You may want to change your dispensary. It could be you're just not ingesting the right stuff. Possibly. Right? Or maybe you just want to go cold turkey and see what happens after a week.
We're not playing cold turkey. How dare you? You pissed me off, man. I'm offended. What the fuck? Come on, man.
All right, let's go ahead and close out the episode, John. So let's do this.
Oh, God.
Y'all, here's the deal. If you like content like this, and this is free, if you're tuning in only on Spotify and Apple, we still say thank you. Give us a 5-star review and share this with 3 of your friends in the industry or your colleagues. However, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, you are missing out. Go to our YouTube channel. It's the Loan Officer Podcast, a.k.a. TLOP, and subscribe. Not only are we dropping podcast episodes on Mondays and Fridays, but we have training videos for free dropping Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you like free, you're going to love our newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It's tloponline.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. Not only will you get an awesome 3-minute or less read sent to you every single Thursday, but that is your invitation to one free masterclass coached by me or one of the faculty members at T-Lop Originator Coaching, all because you subscribe to our newsletter. Now, finally, and John, this one's for you.
Please, God.
If you're interested in finding out what else T-Lop can do for you, whether it's speaking at your event, doing a workshop, a three-day leadership retreat, yeah, reach out to us. All the information that you'll need, media inquiries, etc., is all on the website, tloponline.com. And finally, if you need a coach, guess what? We have the #1 value in mortgage coaching currently available through T-Lop's Originator Coaching. All that information is also found on our website. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.